So the NBA has a viewership.
All right, man. My boy Los got some dropping some content. I like the title. That's why I clicked this video. The NBA is dead. Chat, before I let my boy Los get in here and give his spiel, I was already kind of thinking about this. Tell me something. Do y'all really watch live NBA games start to finish? Or are you like me and probably 80% of the world who just watch highlights or just watch scores? Because I'm not going to lie, I don't even watch highlights anymore unless it's like a crazy game, somebody dropped 50 or it's a intriguing matchup that I want to see. I don't watch the games start to finish, especially NBA. I literally look at the scores and I look at standings. That's it. I really don't even look at stats like that. I just literally just look at see who won. But yeah, y'all leave a comment. Tell me what y'all do truthfully.
So the NBA has a viewership problem, and there's quite a few people who believe that they have a solution to it. I feel like I make this video like every year at the beginning of the season when viewership is just down. It's actually pretty ridiculous.
I have a theory that it's down because we're looking at the same thing. Everybody's running the same plays at the damn top of the key, dribble handoff. I was talking to a coach yesterday. He said they want to shoot 53s. But, they were trying to contemplate if I could play in this era. It's like, yo, Shaq, we would just shoot 53s. And I was like, well, how much you want to make? We want to make about 10 or 15 of them. I was like, well, that's not going to help you win, but I think everybody's looking at the same thing. And Steph Curry and those guys messed it up. Like, I don't mind Golden State back in the day shooting threes, but every team's not a three-point shooter. So why everybody has the same strategy? I think viewership will continue to go down unless we switch things back up.
On that,
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's the style. I think it's the NBA is having the same problem that these rappers are also having. It's attention. It's all the same business. And if y'all ever watch academics break this down, he break it down to a T. It's all the same business. Everybody's competing for attention, right? And that's music, whether that's music, any kind of art, basketball, football, baseball, content creators, streamers, YouTubers, TikTokers. Everybody is all under the same umbrella. And they're competing for your attention. And because we like consumers, fans, people who consume the content, you only got but so much content you can watch. People are now trying to condense and optimize. That's really how your brain works. Your brain works to optimize things and to put things into simple format. So if you're more of if say you're an NBA fan and you're a Cassinet fan, right? Cassinet is doing his Mafia-thon. You're more of a Cassinet fan than you like NBA. But to consume both content, you're going to play Cassinet stream and you're just going to check the NBA scores. That's what I mean by optimizing. When it comes to this music, chat, people are not listening to albums like they used to. I literally go through an album maybe once, maybe twice, if I even get to the album. I pick one, maybe two songs that I really like, add it to my playlist, and that's it. I'm not even going. And the thing about music to really grasp it, you got to listen to it multiple times. But you don't get to that because you got other music that you're trying to listen to, and there's so many artists that's dropping music. So I think the NBA is having the same problem that really the whole entertainment industry is having.
TNT opening night, there were 2 games. There were 162 threes shot in those 2 games alone. Guys like Anthony Edwards right now are shooting like 10 threes a game. They were shooting half of that last year. And when asked, what do you think about people that want you to drive to the lane? He says, f them, because this is what the coaches want.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I normally don't agree with Shaq, but I actually believe he has a really, really, really good point. And a lot of people have been talking about this over the course of the last, 3 to 4 years.
Chad, do y'all really think it's too many threes? I mean, that's been the style of basketball for how long? almost half a decade, probably more longer than that, since maybe like 2017, 2016-ish. Golden State really revolutionized the game of basketball by shooting a lot of threes. That's been like that for the longest.
Where it's been slowly obvious that three-point shooting is really killing the viewership and how appealing the game is, even to like people.
And people said, okay, when the game was slowed down, think about the Kobe era. Look at how many points they were scoring during the Kobe era. People then was talking about how the game was too slow. They were talking about how the game was too slow. There wasn't as much excitement. So what the NBA started doing, they started favoring the offensive player. The game sped up. Take more. You got to take more shots. You got to take more shots to speed the game up instead of coming down and using a whole 24-second shot clock, setting up plays and shit like that on some San Antonio Spurs type shit. They sped the game up. Now you're talking about, oh, the game is too fast. It's just people shooting threes. I would like to see something else. I don't
really
believe
obsess over the game of basketball. And even me personally, like I'm a really big NBA watcher. Like I watch a lot of basketball. And even for me, at times, it gets a little dull. Like the lack of variation in style of basketball certainly isn't where it used to be. It's very redundant. It seems as if like I'm watching the same thing over and over and over again. But
you are, and it's 82. You got to think, chat. It's 82 games too. Like that's another reason why people don't watch, especially regular season NBA, is because it's so many games. Like I said, it's just too much content.
The bigger problem that the NBA has when trying to address the three-point issue is that this is going to be a reoccurring thing because we are now at a point where people have just recognized, coaches, executives, analytic people have really just recognized that this is undeniably the most efficient way to play basketball. And there's actually a few clips out there talking about this. I believe Nick Wright discussed with like Daryl Morey a few years ago where like, hey, we keep going down this path of just like analytic-driven basketball. What does it look like from a product perspective? And I even believe that Kenny even had like a video as well talking about how like there's a meta problem in the NBA right now where regardless of how we may view it, it doesn't really matter. The best way and the most efficient way to play basketball right now is to get up as many threes as possible, and that's pretty undeniable.
We also have a problem with the way the game is played. I used to be, a few years back, I used to be a diehard Apex Legend player. My days consisted of watching basketball from 6 to midnight, right? Recording videos from midnight to 2. Then when I wake up at 10 a.m. the next morning, I was on Apex until the game started again. I was a grinder. One of the worst things about that was there was a meta. And if you're an Apex Legend fan, you know there's always a meta. But specifically during that era when I was grinding, the meta was Bangalore, Seer, and Valkyrie. Kenny, what are you getting on here? Why are we talking about Apex Legends? Because in order for me to climb up the ranks in ranked, I needed to play the meta. My 3 couldn't compete unless we had a Seer. We couldn't compete unless we had a Valk that can get us out of sticky situations. We couldn't compete if we didn't have the smokes of Bangalore. Anytime you shifted away from the meta, for me, that's not like, again, one of the top players in the world, we lost games. The NBA also has a meta problem where if you're not one of the teams that is jacking up 43 pointers a game, it is almost impossible for you to win. There's a meta problem, and there's no way around.
I agree with him on that. Chat, and I know this is going to sound crazy. Check out my last couple 2K videos. Check out my last 2K videos. First of all, I have a build that don't shoot threes, right? Yet. Nigga, I have to put up 80, 90 points, shooting 75, 80% from the field in order to have a chance to win. Just because, nigga, the CPU is centered around how basketball is played today, like what he's saying. Nigga, the threes, I swear to God, it's hard to compete against a team that's knocking down threes or just shooting a bunch of threes. You have to score so many points to be a team that's jacking up threes. I agree with him 100%. If you're a team that's trying to win off efficiency twos, you're going to lose. Even if you're shooting a high percentage, you're going to lose. Just because you cannot compete with fucking tray balls left and right. Think about it. You got to score 2 twos for 1 3. And if they jacking up a bunch, especially if they hitting, you're cooked. You are cooked.
You could have 2 top 10-ish players in basketball. But
that's how Golden State was able to go 73-9, jacking up threes. And nobody had the remedy at the time, but they had the blueprint. And that's why that shit will never be duplicated until somebody else come and revolutionize the game again.
If you are not running the meta, things won't look amazing.
And what Kenny is saying is basically right. There is a meta, the game within the game. What is the best way, the most efficient way, the most effective way for me to be competitive and eventually win?
But what I'm disagreeing is that hurts viewership. I disagree with that.
Whatever game I'm competing at, whatever level of competition I'm at, what is the best way for me to do it? Even if it means
there's
what
definitely
I'm
a meta.
doing may come across as spam, it may be unenjoyable to watch, it still needs to be something across the board to kind of get me from point A to point B. But the problem here is, for whatever reason, the rules aren't changing.
Pi isn't just an ad blocker, it gets you paid.
How do you fix that,
With
though?
Pi, you can see the ads vanish in real.
Hey, what in the chat? How do you fix teams shooting threes? Like, what do you just tell them? Oh, we're gonna take the 3-point line away again. like, how do you fix a team that decides that they want to shoot threes?
The same point that we've been at several years in NBA history. For those who don't know, the reason why we have a shot clock is because the meta back in the 50s was, hey, I think it was George Mikan or Bob Pitt, I think it was Mikan. Mikan is beating the shit out of all of us. He is dominating all of us. Like, he's just dominating us. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to just hold the ball. We're going to go up quick. We're going to run those scored real quick, hold the ball, play hot potato left and right. And because there's no shot clock, there's nothing that's forcing us to score. Nothing at all. And so then you would get games that would finish off with only 20 points or 30 points. It was unwatchable, but that was the meta. And then effectively you got a rule change in. Like, regardless of how you may like about it, that was the best way to win until they changed the rules. Same thing that was happening in the late 90s to the early 2000s. There was a rule set in place to where I can get the ball back down as long as I want to. There's nothing that was no rules.
Facts. Hand checking as well
in place. I can just back down as long as I can back down as long as I want to. Big can just stay in the lane as long as he wanted to. And then there was a rule set in place with illegal defense where everyone can just stand over on the other side while I just ISO'd out, back down as long as I want to. Pace went down to shit. Slowest basketball we've seen since they implemented the shot clock. Slow pace, no scoring, but that was the best way to play. You know what they did? Change the rules. They implemented a 3-second back to the basket. They implemented a zone defense. They changed certain things around. It was so drastic at that time to where, oh yeah, we need to move the 3-point line.
So how the hell do you fix a 3-point problem though? I think that's going to take a little bit more sophistication, though. How the hell do you fix a 3-point problem?
Closer to the basket to incentivize players to shoot more threes to open up the game a little bit more. That was
without taking away from the actual blueprint of basketball.
The reason why they did those things, because the NBA recognized that, yo, we need to change the rules. Why Adam Silver has not changed the rules is crazy to me, because effectively over the past 2 to 3 years, he's been teasing us.
Give me some
Everybody's
solutions.
been saying the same thing for the last 2 to 3 years. Yo, Adam, it's redundant. I'm just watching 3-point shooting and flopping. Oh yeah, we're gonna tell the refs to do this. No, yeah, we're gonna do it. No. Be more drastic with the rule changes. We get it. Players are gonna find ways to manipulate the rules. Again, they've been doing that since the beginning of the league existence. We get that. Innovation is inevitable, and so are rule changes. You're at a point right now where it's too offensive leaning and everybody thinks that you're watching the same thing over and over and over again. That's a problem. Change it. Bring back defensive physicality. The reason why you took it out the game originally is because offensively the game wasn't.
Maybe increasing the defensive physicality, like being a little bit loose with defensive fouling and stuff like that. But again, I still don't see how that's gonna fix teams from how's that going to prevent teams from shooting threes?
Isn't where it needed to be at that time. Defense was
y'all
way
get what
more
I'm saying, chat? Like, how is that going to fix
2000s.
that?
So you took away hand checking a little bit. You didn't allow players to be as physical. Like you did those things. That's what happened under David Stern because it made sense. Right now we're at the other end of it. The pendulum is swung all the way over here where offense is too much. So you can add back the physicality and it'll be fine. The amount of 3-point shooting that is being provided with these teams, even if you allowed there to be more physicality, they would still be a very efficient offense that would be ran. It just wouldn't feel as if like the only way to shift the defense would be pick and roll, dribble, drive. That's the reason why it feels redundant. Players shooting threes, shooting long twos, especially complementary players, have always existed. That's effectively how role players, for the most part, provide spacing to their stars. But if every star is, all right, space it out real quick, come set that pick, and we just doing pick and rolls all day, Giannis rim running to the basket, there's no other real way to play basketball.
I ain't gonna lie, that's my 2K blueprint. Chat, that's all I do on 2K. High screen and roll. All day long, all day, every day, baby. All day, every day. You want that tripped up? High screen and roll. Hey, come set that blur screen. Set that blur screen. And if I don't get what I want on the second time, nigga, I set 3-4 of them in under 24 seconds. Set that blur screen. Come on.
Basketball, outside of a few other sets that certain exclusive teams with coaches may run, that's redundant. Change the rules, bring back physicality, allow teams to play more defense so you can force the offense to continue to innovate. Because even now, offenses don't need to innovate because they've now maximized what they realize what they have to do. Hey, just get as many threes up. Try to maximize and optimize how we can generate as many threes as possible. You need to change the rules. However, that's not the only problem because there are a couple more problems that I really have to touch upon. One of which we talked about on the Gilbert Arenas podcast, and I actually thought it was very, very interesting, and many of you all should be aware of it because it is going to get even worse.
Shout out Gil.
This season, the league averages 37.2 3-point attempts per game, which would be a record. Celtics are currently leading the league with close to 51 of their 90 shot attempts per game coming from beyond the arc. There are 7 teams averaging more than 43 point attempts per game, and every team in the league is taking at least
7 teams averaging more, averaging 40 threes a game. 43 pointers. That's a lot.
31 threes per game.
Does Lakers read last?
We are not last. I believe the Pelicans were last, but nonetheless.
And listen, look where the Pelicans are. At the bottom of the motherfucking conference.
But that's not the reason the viewership is down.
So there are a lot of factors contributing to the NBA's viewership issues.
All right,
among
what's
them,
Gil perspective?
Star players missing a lot of games because
hard
of
to
injury.
watch games. It's expensive to watch these games.
There you go. It's expensive to watch games now. It used to be free.
A lot.
You know how much League Pass costs?
Like League Pass, and you don't even get all the games.
You don't even get the games in your own city.
You don't get the Laker game.
Yeah, you don't even get your own teams and your city's games on League Pass.
Like the reason that is
Get you some cable.
I didn't even think about that, chat. I told you I don't watch games from start to finish. I don't even like you said, I don't even know where to watch them at. Now that I think about it, because people nobody does cable anymore. It used to be, nigga, TNT, nigga. You cut TNT on, you good. You watch the game start to finish. But I think everything is streaming now, and so streaming also comes with subscriptions. You got to subscribe, and I'm for damn sure not subscribing to watch no full basketball game because I ain't got the time to do that shit.
No, that now makes you buy cable too. So you got to buy cable for your own teams, and then you got to buy League Pass to get the League Pass stuff. So what ends up happening is the distribution of games now. They're harder to find.
For sure. Yeah, and also you got viewing habits shifting to more short form clips.
It's hard to find things to watch, and viewership is down.
Let's be real. I ain't no snitch.
It sounds like the W. Right?
I ain't no snitch, but if you want to watch games, there are avenues and ways on the internet always where you don't have to pay to watch games.
Let me show you why I stopped paying for all my other sample libraries.
I never thought about that.
Output. This thing has sound.
Yeah, but you don't get
See, and that's the highlights and shit. That's free. That's free. Looking up the stats. That's free.
Yeah. That's how your computer blows up.
So y'all making us do that.
Now, Lexi's being very condescending, but she has a very, very valid point by this idea of like stretching out the viewership thin amongst so many platforms, because effectively that's what the WNBA has done as well over the course of how many ever years. And the NBA has been doing that as well, but it's going to get even worse next year because now we have, ESPN, ABC, and the League Pass, and you have your local games. But next year they're going to have NBC, and on top of that, add Amazon Prime. So they're adding even more subscriptions that you have to watch these games. That's crazy. What makes it even crazier is that we don't benefit as the viewer. The reason why they are making more and more money in the NBA is because the rights to these games continue to get sold. So ESPN is fighting, ABC is fighting, TNT fighting, Amazon.
It's everything is money driven, just like everything else over here in America. Everything is about the dollar. Everything is business driven. They don't give a fuck about the consumer. They give a fuck about what the consumer is gonna pay for. That's it. They give a fuck about that money, that munyon. They want that munyon onion in their pockets. That's it. It's all about the dollar.
I got in the mix that they fighting. Everyone's fighting for these games. So then the bid goes higher and higher and higher.
And the quality, the viewer experience is what's taking a dip. Because if I sit down and watch a Lakers game and this shit boring, like he said, you watching a whole bunch of threes, or LeBron not even playing, AD hurt, some bullshit, nigga, you just spent money for that. And you gonna walk around with such a distaste for the NBA or for the game that you just watched that you're gonna start to resent it a little bit. Prime example, everybody just sat down and watched the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. What was the disappointing factor in that fight? It wasn't entertaining. And people paid a lot of money for something that wasn't even a good product. That's what people are pissed off about. That's what people get pissed off about when they feel that they've gotten scammed. A good business deal is when both sides walking away feel like they've gained something. You got money on one side. Us, the viewers, us, the consumer, we didn't get the content that we thought we was paying for. So that's where the distaste for this shit comes from. And I can see why how that is dropping viewership. I had no idea about the money portion. I told you I watch highlights.
The players, they get more and more money because they get the same cut. They get like 51% of how much money they just keep getting higher. So that means their money's getting higher. But that means it's making it harder for us, the viewers, to watch. It makes it way harder. And by definition, because how many more games are going to be spread out amongst all these other like premium channels or subscriptions that you have to purchase, then that means it devalues even further the ones that you have, such as League Pass. If I'm spending money on League Pass, and let's say hypothetically speaking, throughout the course of a year, I can watch 1,000 games, hypothetically, right? Now that NBC and Amazon are in the fold, that means that there's now fewer games I can watch on League Pass because ESPN's going to get their games, ABC as well. NBC, to be fair, is taking over TNT, so that's a little bit different. But Amazon.
So does League Pass? They give you all the shitty games? Like you don't get the premium games?
Being in the mix, now they have to take some more of the games from League Pass and hand it over to Amazon subscribers. So basically, the only way you're going to be able to watch these games is if, like, you got cable, which as a sidebar, most young audience, they don't have. I haven't had cable in God knows how long. I just recently bought like a year or two ago just because of YouTube TV so I can watch as many basketball games as possible. But for years, I didn't have cable. But now you have to have cable. If you don't have cable, then you got to have your ESPN subscription, have cable, have the ABC and NBC, and then you got to have your Amazon Prime.
Because each platform is not going to have every game. They're not going to have each platform only buying a certain amount of games. They're not going to have the rights to all the games every single night.
You need to have League Pass. Then you need to have actual cable, even if you don't want to. Still need to have some type of TV provider so you can watch your local games, because here in Atlanta, even if I have League Pass, I can't watch the Hawks because the Hawks games, they already gave that out to the local provider. And what makes it worse is that the NBA is earning more money. They're earning more money for these new TV deals, while us has to pay the same price for League Pass, even though it's going down in value. We are getting fucked. We're getting fucked. This is actually a huge reason why I stream on playback.tv, where if you have League Pass, you can not only watch the games, but you can also watch them with me live.
I'm really curious how JJ Redick
No! Oh, that's tough. Nigga, I didn't even know you could do that. I thought you get copyrighted if you stream an NBA game. How does he do that? Chat, we're gonna have to look up how you do this.
Right there.
Oh. No.
Just take it. Just take it.
No.
Oh my goodness.
D'Lo's about to hit some shit, isn't he?
Oh, here he comes.
No, it's not D'Lo.
No. No, wait, no. Okay. Oh my goodness.
So it actually provides more value into League Pass. But if it wasn't for like platforms like that, bro, you would quite literally be paying the exact same amount of money for League Pass while being able to watch fewer games on League Pass. That's crazy. But in my opinion, the biggest problem that the NBA has right now, and I think the worst thing that they have done over the last really like 5 or 7 years, is just marketing new stars. Because the ratings are fine when LeBron, KD, and Curry are involved. The league is still riding on the back of those three, and they're all in their
facts. They are, and they all finna retire soon within the next few years. They have done who would you consider the next Kobe Bryant or the next LeBron James or the next Michael Jordan? They don't have one. They don't have one lining up. Think about it. When Jordan was retiring, we watched Kobe come in the league, and everybody's like, oh, Kobe's going to be the next Jordan. And we followed Kobe all the way up into the end, right? Around 2010, then it's transitioned to LeBron's finna be the face of the league. Around that 2010, after Kobe won that last ring with Boston, people start transitioning to, okay, this is finna be LeBron's league. Fortunately, we also got Curry in the mix, and then KD also came and sprouted into his own. But now, who would you say is that next LeBron-esque type of player? You kind of got Anthony Edwards, but He's not there yet. And I don't think Ant-Man is a fan favorite yet. Tatum, no. And then you can't promote a European league because at the end of the day, the NBA is in America. Like, you need an American star. You can't. I don't see them making Giannis, Joker, Embiid, or Luka the face of the NBA because you need an American star. I think like majority of your audience is right here in America. Who is going to be that next American star? And I don't see them really marketing their up and coming talent either. Not like that.
Mid to late 30s right now. LeBron almost 40. He still got to be the face in the NBA. And when I sit here and I think about it, I'm like, bro, how is...
Because, like, those players should be able to bring in viewership if they're the face.
Is that even possible? How is it possible that
like even before Kobe retired, LeBron was still bringing in viewership. KD, Steph still bringing in viewership. Kobe, before Jordan retired, was bringing in viewership. Everybody wanted to see this young kid.
Into LeBron's career, 22 years. Adam Silver, you haven't found another face of the league? Nike, you don't do no more marketing? Like the marketing is just done in the NBA. Bro, when I was growing up, LeBron had puppet commercials. KD had the not nice commercials. Nike used to be killing it with commercials. Outside of Victor Wembanyama, I don't know anything that's going on with any of these athletes. They don't care anymore. The promoting of stars is done. It's over with. How is it
Victor
possible
Wembanyama, he's not an American star.
Pick with Paolo Banchero out in our Orlando Magic team that is on the rise, and you're only giving them a handful of national televised games. For those
nobody sees his games. Nobody watches Orlando Magic, bro.
Orlando has fewer national televised games this year than the Clippers. Who the fuck want to watch Kawhi Leonard? He don't even show up. The biggest reason why the WNBA is blowing up the way that it is, regardless of whatever people want to sit here and tell you, it's because they have a star to market. That's why. And almost every single year for like a decade straight, they will come up to the draft,
Caitlin Clark,
prospect coming up, swing and a miss. They think about to knock that shit out the park. Swing and a miss. 2014 draft, Wiggins and Jabari Parker, swing and a miss. They were hanging on to Wiggins for like 3-4 years, kept making Kobe comps. Swing and a miss. Next year, 2015, oh my goodness. Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, swing and a miss. Jahlil Okafor, swing and a miss. Porzingis, swing and a miss. Devin Booker out there hooping out of his mind. Those are empty stats. That was empty stats in Phoenix. Nobody give a fuck about D-Book. Oh my, those are empty stats. Okay. 2016, woo! I remember this vividly, actually. This is a two-man draft.
D-Book, had they won that championship, I think he would have been definitely on the rise.
Just two. B.I. and Ben Simmons. That's it. Swing and a miss. Jaylen Brown goes third, and nobody doesn't really talk about him at all. Turns out to be the most successful player in an entire draft. People get more caught up now on how Ben Simmons failed than him living up to be the starter he was positioned to be. 2017, Markelle Fultz, Lonzo Ball, swing and a miss. 2018, DeAndre Ayton, swing and a miss. To be fair, Luka has been amazing, but DeAndre Ayton, #1 overall pick. Next, David Robinson, swing and a miss. 2019, Zion, swing and a miss. I'll hold off on Ja for a couple more years because I do think he can still be the star there. A lot of people were anticipated, but Zion, swing and a miss. 2020, Anthony Edwards turned out to be really, really great. LaMelo, when he's healthy and he's available, he's also really, really
Melo
good.
just dropped a 50 ball.
A lot of tickets. He's actually very entertaining to watch. But James Wiseman, not the player that he was supposed to be either. And even in these more recent drafts with some of the young prospects that have actually turned out to be pretty solid. Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes. Nobody doesn't really talk about any of those players at all. 2022, Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren. Again,
I think Chet and Pablo, I think they're the two from like the young class. But like they said, Chet, I think Chet definitely get his notoriety just because he's on OKC. But Banchero, no.
And nobody doesn't really discuss any of them. So the day that the NBA finds a way to properly manage and prop up a star is when things are going to change. But if the ratings are going down now and KD, Curry, and LeBron are still in the league, oh my goodness. What you need to be more concerned with is what's about to happen in the next 2 or 3 years. And to me,
and that's why that's probably why they let LeBron play with his son. Because they need to keep LeBron in the league. Because, bro, you know how much views this nigga LeBron brings? And he's out there in LA. But shit, chat, y'all let me know y'all thoughts, comments, man. What do the NBA need to do to fix this problem?
Got a house on the hill, I don't back out. Ain't showing no love, no, not in this season. I'm waiting to bring all my racks out. Now who keeping all of my niggas? Been waiting to shoot up the burner. Caught in my feels, I need some more soda. She loving the pill, her body get warmer. Gotta let her ride on top.